Kuzampo, you're watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Pukyam. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King graces GFU International Airport, Salang tender. People raise concerns about public gatherings during election period. ECB says no official complaints received so far. And 50 out of every 100 youth unemployed finds first quarterly labour force survey report. The Salang tender, or the groundbreaking ceremony of GFU International Airport, was held on Saturday.
The international airport is an important component of the GFU Mindfulness City, which His Majesty the King announced on National Day. His Majesty the King graced the Salang with prayer ceremonies presided over by His Holiness the GFU. Together with the interim government, senior government officials and the ambassador of India, Lams and Tukus from all Buddhist traditions in Bhutan attended the ceremony. This is Kju for BBS News.
His Majesty the King unveiled the plans and vision for the GFU Mindfulness City during the 116th National Day celebrations at the Janlamita Stadium. The city will be a special administrative region where investments will be made in green energy, physical and digital connectivity infrastructure and education.
Mindfulness City is unique, being founded on Bhutanese values and the gross national happiness philosophy, prioritizing not only economic development but personal well-being for every resident. The GFU Mindfulness City will cover an area of 250,000 acres, which is 2.5% of the total surface area of the country. Bjarke Ingels Group, which designed the city, shared the city's master plan on Tuesday. According to a news release from the designers, the city has the potential to create a significant multiplier effect by generating economic activity and investments in the country. The news release also states that the master plan brings His Majesty's vision to life, proposing a series of bridges as new landmarks tailored to each of the 9 GNH domains: agriculture preservation, mobility connections, public spaces, and low to mid-rise development. The special administrative region will host companies on the cutting edge of sustainability, technology, and finance. The founder of Bjarke Ingels Group says that the Mindfulness City is imagined as a place that could be found nowhere else. The founder said that the city will be where nature is enhanced, agriculture is integrated, and tradition is living and breathing, not only preserved but also evolved. Shaped by waterways, GFU becomes a land of bridges connecting nature and people, past and future, local and global. 35 rivers and streams will run through the site, dividing the city into 11 neighborhoods. According to the news release, the development will prioritize the use of local materials such as timber, stone, and bamboo. To protect existing and future development against flooding in the monsoon, paddy fields will be established along the site's rivers and tributaries running from north to south. According to the Bjarke Ingels Group, the first milestone in the city's development is the groundbreaking ceremony for the new international airport, which will be held tomorrow. Sherab Doji, BBS News.
His Majesty the King and His Holiness the GFU inaugurated the GFU Landmark Water Supply Project carried out by Desung as a Desung National Service Project in partnership with the Royal Government of Bhutan.
The project has ensured supply of sufficient clean drinking water to the residents of GFU. It additionally caters to some communities of GFU and Santalingyo. The system includes construction of new and climate-resilient water supply infrastructures, such as a robust intake structure at Baluchu water source, dual raw water mainline till the pre-sedimentation tank, DI raw water mainline from PST till the water treatment plant, 12 MLD capacity water treatment plant, 2 pipe bridges and 9.4 kilometers of distribution mainline. GFU Tromde and Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport and experts from South Korea and Thailand were part of the team to build the system together with DESUPs. The project commenced in April 2022 and was completed in November 2023. Over 220 DESUPs worked on the project. The GFU Water Project is the largest among similar projects carried out by DESUPs across Bhutan to build robust water supply infrastructure to benefit local communities. The exemplary management of the project resulted in it being completed on time as well as significantly below the projected budget while maintaining state-of-the-art technology and infrastructure standards. This is Kju for BVS News.
The 111 volumes of the Kju text in gold calligraphy will now reside in the sacred chamber of the Teshichozong. The texts were rendered in gold calligraphy as a part of the Royal Kju Project that commenced in 2018. Upon the completion of the Royal Kju Project this year, rendering Buddhist text in gold calligraphy will continue for the preservation of Buddha's teachings and its immeasurable benefits for the well-being of the sentient beings.
The Royal Kju Project was completed after 5 years. The texts were consecrated by His Holiness the Jekhenpo during the naming ceremony of Her Royal Highness the Gyaltsem on December 9th. After the completion of the Royal Kju Project, the new Kju set has been fully recited by over 100 monks from Tango, Panrizampa, Semtoka and Techapoda monasteries dedicated as Kurim for Her Royal Highness the Gyaltsem and the historic 116th National Day.
In 2015 to 2016, after the birth of His Royal Highness Gese Jiminamge, Her Majesty Queen Mother Sri Yandhu Wanchu put forward a proposal to His Majesty expressing Her Majesty's desire for Kju to be written in gold calligraphy as Kurim for His Royal Highness the Gyaltse and as a relic for the country. Following His Majesty's decree, a Kju committee was established, marking the beginning of this initiative.
Kanjur or translated words consist of works supposed to have been spoken by the Buddha himself. The texts are believed to be the embodiment of Buddha himself.
As awareness on benefits of gold calligraphy grows among the public, the demand is increasing. For example, some people are requesting relevant texts to be scripted in gold to accumulate merits for their deceased parents. Preserving Buddha's teachings over time promises greater benefits. People are also asking for prayers for their local deities to be transcribed in gold, and we are committed to providing such services to everyone.
Meanwhile, over 11 calligraphers who were part of the Royal Kju Project are continuing to calligraph more Buddhist texts in gold.
Having the opportunity to write and contribute to a project initiated by a Bodhisattva king like His Majesty is true blessing. I am really happy to be able to contribute to a project like this in my lifetime.
I would like to thank His Majesty the King because I got the opportunity to take part in the project, which is His Majesty's initiative. In life, we might get to work anywhere for money, but this kind of opportunity is very rare. So I'm really grateful.
I never thought I would get an opportunity like this. Well, I could have chosen another path in Buddhism. I am truly happy and satisfied that I get to create gold scriptures now.
After the completion of the Royal Kju Project, the calligraphers have completed calligraphing various Buddhist texts for Ha district. They have further received orders from Paro and Dashigan districts as well. Kinzanghadan, PBS News.
People are raising concerns about public gatherings during the election period. The Election Commission of Bhutan has also repeatedly reminded the people not to do so. People say gatherings in person can be seen happening during weddings, rituals and at nightclubs. However, the ECB has not received any official complaints regarding gatherings as of now.
As the country gears up for the general round of the 4th National Assembly elections, some people remain confused regarding the rules on public gatherings, especially during the election period.
According to the election rules, people should not be having public gatherings. In my observation, I have seen many public gatherings happening at wedding celebrations and many others posted on social media.
As the poll day is nearing when conducting annual rituals, some people seek permission and some do not. Likewise, the ones who ask for permission also limit their guest list, whereas some invite many guests.
Looking at Thimphu's nightlife, we can see there are lots of gatherings happening due to parties and karaoke events.
People do avoid public gatherings during the election period. However, when it comes to the rule of not having gatherings while conducting annual rituals, I feel it is a little strict on their part.
Breaching the rule of public gatherings need not just be physical gatherings, but creating larger groups on social media also seems like a breach of the rule for me.
However, the Election Commission of Bhutan said they have not completely stopped public gatherings but have been continuously reminding people to avoid such gatherings to prevent allegations related to elections that may arise. The ECB said people have been seeking permission from the Commission and relevant authorities.
We have been always reminding people to avoid it because we don't want people to be later dragged into the disputes. But we do not impose people not to do these gatherings or whatever may be. And we have never stopped any calendar events happening.
He added that the ECB and the chief election coordinators of the districts have given approvals for unavoidable gatherings such as Kju's annual rituals and weddings due to Lona or inauspicious year, and they have been monitoring the events.
We have given the authorities to the chief election coordinators who are Tasho Zongdas of the respective Zongkaksla. And the Zongdas are there in the Zongkaks and they know the sensitivity of the places that better themselves. So that's why some places maybe if an event is allowed, any issue can come up. So maybe the Zongkak avoids providing approval.
Moreover, the ECB said the Office of the Media Arbitrator along with the social media monitors in the districts are monitoring all the news, programs, advertisements and social media content. The poll day for the general round of elections is set for the 9th of January. Kinzanghadan, PBS News.
Nearly 10,000 students in 9 districts have been found with air-related issues. This is according to the Health Ministry, which is conducting a nationwide screening for school students as part of the Hear, Listen and Speak program. The most common issue detected during the screening was minor impacted wax or over-accumulation of earwax, which can lead to hearing loss if not treated.
According to the Health Ministry, more than 75,000 students in over 100 schools were screened in Thimphu, Paro, Chuka, Samsi, Sirang, Wandipoda, Dagana, and Sarpang. So far, more than 2,000 students have been referred to hospitals for treatment. The ministry says the Hear, Listen and Speak program fitted 3 and upgraded 44 hearing aids. They say the program was conducted to address hearing loss and ear-related issues in the country.
The purpose of this Hear, Listen, Speak program or project is to basically ensure that we have a community-based screening and detection and ensure that there's appropriate interventions are conducted to those individuals or those students or children who have this hearing problem. Number 2 is we are also looking to build the capacity of our health workers or healthcare providers to really improve the capacity on delivering these interventions.
Meanwhile, a doctor with the National Referral Hospital says early detection is essential to provide treatment at the right time. The doctor added that apart from over-accumulation of bags, ear infection is another common problem. For such issues, prompt treatment through detection is important to avoid hearing loss.
Now we are seeing increased hearing loss because of chronic exposure to loud noise. The commonest being when youngsters or even adults who are using earphones on a daily basis, and not only earphone but at a very high volume and on a prolonged duration. It can slowly damage your small cells inside the ear, which is called the inner ear cells, and on fine day you will realize that your hearing is not adequate.
He says the appropriate volume is below 60% to prevent hearing loss in the future. According to the Health Ministry, as part of the program, they have introduced cochlear implants, an ear mold lab and digital hearing aid fitting at the National Referral Hospital. The Health Ministry is implementing the program in collaboration with the Health and Wellbeing Division of the Education and Skills Development Ministry. This is Singadama PBS News.
Complications related with unintended pregnancy mostly arise because most women remain unaware of their pregnancies, according to experts. In such cases, most women fail to receive the required medication and care for themselves and the fetus. In this story, we delve into the complexities that arise from personal choices and the obstacles that lie ahead.
This 21-year-old woman is a new mother. She was already over 5 months pregnant when she knew that she had conceived. As she was oblivious to her conception, she could not obtain her handbook on time, missing out on critical medication and supplements.
It was unplanned. By the time I knew I was pregnant, it was already past 5 or 6 months. I just graduated and I had a lot of things I wanted to do in life. However, I became pregnant, and becoming a mother was something that I did not wish for.
Unintended pregnancy or unplanned pregnancy usually go unreported in most cases. According to studies, the overall pregnancy registration in the country is more than 90%. However, almost 40% of the mothers register their pregnancy after the initial 3 months, which is supposed to be the optimal time for pregnancy registration. According to a gynecologist of the National Referral Hospital, mothers are issued the Mother and Child Health or MCH handbook as soon as it is confirmed that they are pregnant. The book is required to maintain medical and vaccination records, among others, of the mother and the child. When pregnancies are not registered on time, it leads to delay in the issuance of the MCH handbook. This, according to doctors, not only delays in receiving optimal pregnancy care, but puts both the mother and baby at very high risk of illness and complications and even death. Further, experts say delaying pregnancy registration, especially beyond the initial 3 months, poses risk as the mother misses out on vital supplements.
당발랍다 공기 콩코라기 알로 주카 알로 차비미라 미시스 주니라 마음기라 다니 시시베 바나라
Mothers should take medicines such as folic acid for the first 3 months. It is an essential medicine as it helps the baby grow without disabilities and with a normal birth weight. If they do not make the handbook, they will also miss out on vitamin, iron and calcium supplements which could lead to low birth weight.
다 second 공기 같이 치웅라 바제 vitamins 디스 치웅라 vitamin C dele ani like iron tablet disu chiungse junela.
According to the adolescent focal, such unintended pregnancy is even more challenging for young girls who are not able to make decisions.
알루디로 남사 young baby mula 다니보다 밤기 잡줄 맞인
When they are not supported by their parents and partners, it poses a great challenge in decision making. Such situations also make young girls consider aborting their child illegally. When they opt for unsafe abortion, it will be done in an unhygienic manner. It only causes more complications for the young girls.
At the PEMA Secretariat, which aims to help build a society that promotes mental health and well-being, young girls facing unintended pregnancy are given counseling and support, including the facilitation of adoption of their child.
Unintended pregnancy is mostly seen happening among young children. At such a tender age, they are unable to open up to anyone and decide. In such cases, where the partner is unwilling to accept the child or they want to keep it a secret, we do help them in adopting the child as long as the adopting parents fulfill the criteria.
Currently, there are no records of unintended pregnancy available in the country. Although the subject is not talked about much, it is quite prevalent, especially among young women, according to doctors. This is Sonam Yuden for BBS News.
The country's youth unemployment rate for the third quarter this year is at almost 16%. This is according to the National Statistics Bureau's first quarterly Labour Force Survey Report 2023. The NSP started releasing the statistics quarterly following directives from the Office of the Prime Minister in March last year. The youth unemployment rate is defined as the percentage of unemployed persons in the 15 to 24 years age group. Unemployed people are those who report that they are without work despite being available and actively seeking jobs during the time of the survey.
As per the International Labour Organization, all persons 15 years and above are considered as the working age population. Unemployed youth makes up over 50% of the total unemployment number. This indicates 50 out of every 100 unemployed persons are youth. Additionally, the youth unemployment rate differs between male and female and in urban and rural areas. The youth unemployment rate for male stands at over 13%, which is lower than that for female at over 18%. Youth unemployment continues to be predominantly an urban phenomenon with a rate of almost 25%, which is more than half of the rate observed in rural areas at over 9%. Unemployment indicators adhere to international standards, specifically those set by the International Labour Organization. According to the organization's criteria, a person is considered as unemployed only if 3 conditions are met simultaneously. The person is without work, actively seeking employment, and available for work if given the opportunity. The report also highlights that youth population holds a significant potential for influencing the overall socio-economic development of the country. When this human capital remains untapped and overlooked, it can result in an escalating social burden for the nation. Although the NSP's Labour Force Survey Report 2022 shows the country's youth unemployment rate for 2022 at 28.6%, there is no basis to compare if the youth unemployment rate has increased or decreased in the past year, as this is the first quarterly report for 2023. According to a study by a Bhutanese student on youth unemployment and its consequences in Bhutan, youth unemployment has both long and short-term effects. The long-term effect of youth unemployment is that it affects the outcomes of the market, which is very critical in the evaluation of government policies. Even at an individual level, long-term unemployment where a person has remained without a job for 12 months or more has resulted in varied disturbances of physical and psychological well-being of an individual. Therefore, youth unemployment is linked with increased health symptoms, deterioration in health behavior, and increase in drug abuse. In the report, the NSB notes that while the government has consistently prioritized investment in employment creation, the active involvement and investments from the private sectors are equally crucial in addressing the country's youth unemployment issue. Samtin Dolker, BBS News.
That's all we have for you for this week. Thank you for joining us.